Today, we are diving into a really fascinating online program for kids in Vietnam. It's called AI Childcare Beta 2. Now, on the surface, it looks like a program about education, about getting a head start. But as we're about to see, it very quickly starts to blur the lines between learning digital skills, hitting sales quotas, and even answering a call to national service. It raises some pretty big questions. So, where do we even begin to understand this? Well, let's start with the students themselves. This quote here from a student named Lei Hu Kang really captures a common feeling you see in the class. There's this genuine excitement, right? A real desire to learn and grow.
So first up, let's look at how this is all being presented. It's pitched as a new kind of class. And at its heart, it's framed as this super forward-thinking educational opportunity. You know, a way for kids to really get ahead in our digital world. And we're not just talking about theory here. The program promises to deliver tangible, real-world skills. It's a very practical approach that, you can tell, really connects with these young participants. For some students, like Quoc Bao, the motivation is even more direct. It's about mixing that learning with a very practical goal, making money. And that theme, as you'll see, becomes absolutely central to the whole program.
So, what are these kids actually being taught? Well, the curriculum is built around what they're calling the 4 core skills. The first big pillar is financial literacy. The instructor spends a lot of time emphasizing how important it is to understand money, not just how to make it, but how to think about it, what it really represents. Now, check this out. This is how they simplify a pretty complex idea. During the class, the instructor asks, if you use your money to buy candy, is that an asset or a liability? And the kids get it right away. It's a liability because the money's just gone. But a book, now that's an asset because the knowledge you get from it can create value down the road. Simple, but effective. From there, the curriculum branches out into these 4 skills. And you got to pay attention to the wording here. Sales isn't about being pushy. It's about helping others. Then you've got accounting, investing to get more tools, and finally, leadership, which they define as helping everyone else succeed right there with you. But this is where things take a turn. The program moves past theory really fast. It's not just a class anymore. It's being presented as a real-world work experience, a way to actually apply these skills they're learning. And that, of course, brings up the most obvious question, right? If this is a job, what are these kids actually supposed to be doing all day? What does the work look like? Well, it all starts with a pretty official onboarding process, kind of like any new employee would go through. They're told to open their own bank account, get a separate email for work, log their hours, and this one's critical. They have to get their parents to sign a consent letter. And here it is. This is what they actually do. It's a whole mix of digital marketing stuff, making customer service calls, writing product reviews, creating videos, posting affiliate links. But then you get to that last one, and this is the real kicker. Part of their job is to recruit other kids into the very same program they're in. Now, with a job, you expect to get paid. And this program is very upfront about the money. They lay out a clear, though pretty ambitious, roadmap for how these kids can potentially earn. This 12-week timeline shows their income just rocketing up. It starts small, but by the 3rd month, it's projected to be over 5 million Vietnamese dong. Now, that's a couple hundred US dollars. For a child, that's a huge amount of money. But, of course, that money isn't just handed out. It is tied directly to their performance. The session makes it very, very clear that a top priority is for every single student to hit a big sales target. In that first major goal, it's 24 million Vietnamese dong. That's about 1,000 US dollars. Let that sink in for a second. We're not talking about pocket money here. This is a serious sales goal being put in front of children. So just when you think you've got it figured out, it's an education program mixed with a sales job for kids, another layer gets peeled back. And suddenly, it's framed as something way, way bigger than just a business. And then you have this absolutely striking moment. The instructor tells the parents and the kids that they need to see this program not as a business deal, but as a military operation order. That choice of words, military operation, completely reframes the entire thing. And this isn't just dramatic language. They explicitly connect it to national politics. The program, they say, is directly aligned with Directive 01 from Vietnam's Communist Party, which ties the kids' work to the country's biggest strategic goals. To really get everyone motivated, the instructor uses a famous historical phrase, one that's tied to Ho Chi Minh, a deeply important figure in Vietnam. The phrase is, Uncle Ho will visit every home.
But here's the twist. It's not just an appeal to patriotism. The instructor immediately reinterprets it for them. He says, Uncle Ho is on the money. So when he visits every home, it means money is coming to every house. Financial success and national pride become the exact same thing.
And the ultimate vision they're selling here is just massive. The program's mission is part of a national project to train 1 million high-quality workers who can master AI and push Vietnam's digital economy into the future.
And to cap it all off, the session even includes drafting a pledge letter. It's addressed to the General Secretary of the Communist Party. In it, participants promise to train those 1 million workers, to build an education ecosystem, protect national data, and to do it all decisively, like soldiers who are following an order.
So, when you put all the pieces together, you start with a kid's simple desire to learn, you move to a detailed digital marketing job, then the promise of some serious income, and you end with this huge narrative of a national military operation. It really all boils down to the fundamental question you see right here. Is this education, entrepreneurship, or national service?